Hola clase, ¿cómo están? Excelente! And welcome to Learning with Senor Cow Cow. This will be the last episode of this year, which is a good thing, so rejoice. All right, so let's go ahead. Today we're going to review the imperfect verb tense, and I'll go ahead and put up your warm-up, and then after that we will continue. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and practice this. You may pause the video now. All right, now in Spanish, you can say we used to run in one word. It is corríamos. I used to drink apple juice. Bebía jugo de manzana. All right, so it's like saying I used to drink, or saying something like back when I was a kid, I would drink apple juice, that sort of thing. Okay, so corríamos and then bebía. All right, my house was red. This is using the verb ser. So this would be mi casa era roja. And we'll talk about why we use this tense for that. And the last one, they always went to Burger King. Siempre iban a Burger King. Okay? Siempre iban. So those last two are irregular. Okay, so let's go ahead and review the lesson here. So let's start with what we looked at yesterday. And that was the preterite tense, okay? The preterite tense, what you need to know, two things. It's in the past, and it happened once in a moment, okay? And as I explained yesterday, also in a very closed, specific amount of time, like last week or yesterday, okay? A very clear beginning and end to that time period. Okay. Excuse me. All right. The past tense that we have learned is the preterite. It happened one time in a moment and is done forever like a photo. Yo comí el sándwich. I ate the sandwich. If I had to, I could tell you exactly when this happened. I could say it was yesterday at 3:05 in the afternoon. Ellos fueron a Puerto Rico. They went to Puerto Rico. When you say that to someone, they're going to immediately understand you are referring to something that happened once, okay? Let's say maybe it was your parents, and this was like a once in a lifetime thing. Ellos fueron a Puerto Rico. They went to Puerto Rico, and you could continue that by saying they went to Puerto Rico last year, right? It was a one-time thing. And again, words we associate with a preterite are things like ayer, anoche, yesterday, last night, last week, etc. And then those were your endings, the aste o, amos astesaron, iste io, imos istes ier. So based on that, how would you say this? I ate the taco yesterday. Yo comí el taco ayer. They lived in Miami last year. Ellos vivieron. And then we went to Atlanta last week. Nosotros fuimos a Atlanta la semana pasada. Okay, so notice these time periods. Ayer, el año pasado, la semana pasada. Very closed, very specific times. All right, the imperfecto, the imperfect tense. The imperfect tense is another past tense. It means, typically it's translated as was, were, or used to. I was eating, we were studying, we used to go to the park, etc. They would always run. This tense is for things that were either ongoing, such as every summer this used to happen, or things that were happening in the background. I was running when I saw a car catch on fire. In this way, the imperfect tense is more like a video than a photo because it did not happen in one moment. It's background. Okay? And I've explained this a number of times before. A major function of this verb tense is to set the scene and describe what was going on in the background at the time that something else happened. Like if you're reading a book and you're picturing what's happening, and it says things like it was a hot day, the kids were small, there were people picnicking, all these things. the house was red. You're decorating. You're decorating the stage and the set, and you're putting things, but the story has not moved forward. That's what that's talking about. If you want to say, oh yeah, the house was small and red, um, I was tired. These are all just describing and setting up things. So your AR endings are aba, abas, aba, abamos, abais, aban, illa, illas, illa, iamos, iais, ian. That's for your ER and IR verbs. And in the whole language, there are only 3 irregular verbs in this tense. Ir turns into iba, ser turns into era, and ver turns into veía. So for example, if you want to say, I used to go every year, you would say, yo iba todos los años. Ser would be, let's say you saw a girl yesterday and you would say she was short. Ella era baja. You're just describing. Okay, and last one would be like I was watching SpongeBob. Yo veía SpongeBob. Veíamos SpongeBob. Or Bob Esponja, as he's known in Espanol. Now, words associated with this, these are much more vague, non-specific times that do not have a clear beginning and end. For example, siempre. If you say something like, oh man, we always used to go to the gas station together, saying always is very non-specific. So someone, like I said, if you couldn't go back in time and take one photo of this. That's very important. I was like, oh, all the time. Yeah, we go to the gas station all the time. That was not one event. That happened here and there. It was very vague. It was very ongoing. Nunca means never, such as, we never used to go there, but now I'm all about it. Todos los días, every day this would happen. A menudo, often. Los lunes is how we say on Mondays. Frecuentemente, frequently, and muchas veces, many times. As you can see, none of these things happened just once. These were ongoing background kind of things. Okay? This is used for describing things in the past to say what time it was. It was 2 o'clock. Eran las dos. What the weather was doing. Oh, yes, it was hot. Hacía calor. Telling what someone's age was. He was 20 years old. Él tenía 20 años. Describing people. She was tall. Ella era alta. Interrupted actions. I was sleeping when it fell. I was studying when, he came in. And many times mental or emotional things, like if you want to say, I was thinking, he was wondering, she was considering, those things typically are in the imperfect tense. Okay, so I've already said all of this. So here's a little side-by-side. Preterite. We ran yesterday at 5 o'clock. A clear beginning and end. That is preterite all day long. Imperfect. We were running. We used to run. Those are much more vague, much less specific things. Okay? All right. So use your endings, your aba, ia, and see how it goes. Give these a try. All right, first one. I used to drink water every day. Yo bebía agua todos los días. We were running when. Corríamos cuando. And he used to go to India. This one's irregular. Iba a India. Okay, and these are just some other expressions. For example, cuando yo era joven, when I was young, de niño or de niña, as a child, mientras vivíamos en Ohio, while we were living in Ohio, había una vez, there once was, hacía frío ayer, it was cold yesterday, cuando tenía 10 años, back when I was 10 years old, and eran las ocho, it was 8 o'clock. Okay, and you can see how often these kind of things come up when you are trying to either relate something or tell a story about yourself or something you saw or what happened in a movie. And this was just my last little slide. The rabbit was sleeping when a dog kissed his head. Okay. Now, the last thing is, first of all, there is a Quizlet. If you go on my Senior Cowcow Quizlet page, this one is called Preterite or Imperfect Rules. Because preterite versus imperfect is a huge deal in Spanish. It's very important to use the right one. Um, for example, like if you want to tell somebody what happened yesterday and you want to say, I went to the mall, I saw a boy, he was tall. All three of those, you have to make a decision. So first of all, I went to the mall is yo fui. I went. That was your sudden thing. I went to the mall. I saw a boy. That was sudden. You looked at him. You saw him. That is yo vi. And then the last one to say he was tall. Él era alto. That is imperfect because you're simply describing him. There's nothing actually happening. Okay? And it's not background either. It is background. So you get the idea. It can be tough, but with practice you can get it. Yeah, he was tall. That is just describing him. Okay. So anyway, if you would like to practice those rules, that's what this Quizlet will get you. Definite beginning or end, preterite or imperfect. Preterite. No definite beginning or end. Imperfect, of course. A specific point in time, like yesterday or last week. Preterite. Used to. Imperfect. Within a closed time frame. Preterite. Ongoing actions, like every week, every year. Imperfect. Verbs used to tell age. He was 20 years old. Imperfect. Once and done. Preterite. Would, as in like we would always go. Imperfect. And so on. There's a bunch of good ones. Anyway, so that one again is called preterite or imperfect rules. If you find that on my Senior Cow Quizlet. All right, now the very last thing, if you type in tinyurl.com/cowcowimperfquiz, that will take you to this website. And you hit start, and it gives you some practice sentences. So I'll do one with you. It says, Los viernes cuando era joven, mis padres blank una cena especial para la familia. On Fridays, when I was young, my parents always prepared a special dinner for the family. And I'm going to tell you, this is only imperfect. Okay, everything you need is up here. You got aba, ia, and then your three irregulars. And over to the left, you can add accent marks just by clicking. So if the subject, mis padres, my parents, they, and then the verb is preparar, the answer would be preparaban. On Fridays when I was young, my parents used to prepare a special dinner for the family, and you hit submit, and it'll say that was what they wanted, that's what you put, and it was correct. Okay? Let's do one together. Last one. Yo and mirar. Yo miraba la televisión. Okay? And again, the rest are for you. All right. So back to me. All right. So that's it. Again, that's optional. Just practice if you need the practice, if you want to practice. And we will end it there. That is the last video of the year. I miss you guys. I thoroughly enjoyed getting to know you. And I hope to see you all really soon next year when we go back to school. Adios.